Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. There is a message that I want to share with you guys. So yesterday, I posted this other story, and this story, it is about our dear sister who was saying that she saw a snake. This snake, it was wearing a Doek on its head. Africa, strange things do happen in this world. So the continuation of that message that was forwarded to me by one of our admins reads like this. The last time that I wrote to you, I had indicated that my boss had promoted me to becoming a house manager, meaning to say that I was taking care of all the day-to-day runnings of the house. I had to do the school runs, make lunch boxes for the kids, and help them with their homework. My skin, Brother Nashi, was transformed. It had become this glassy, classy skin. Every month end, I would take the car that my boss had given to me, and she would actually buy a lot of groceries for me. The car would be full. By the time that I would have arrived at my mom's place, the car would even be feeling so heavy to drive because the boot was always full of groceries and everything that my mom needed. All of her friends who used to laugh at me when I had returned back home were now silent and humbled by the progress that was now happening in my life. Meanwhile, my ex-husband was busy stalking me because he had discovered that his so-called true love, whom he had thought was far much better than me, had been lying to him. So when he suspected that he had been lying to when he suspected that she had been lying to him, he went and they did some DNA tests. But it was not a surprise when I heard this story that the DNA results had proved that their son was not his son. I had no time for him when he came begging for my love. After all, the pain that he had put in my heart, the pain that he had put me through, it was just too much. I had gotten over him. Now back to my story. Life was going on so well, and my boss had to replace me with two ladies whom she hired. Those two ladies had to clean up the house since the demands of the house were quite a lot. All the staff was working under me. Basically, I had became sort of like the chief of staff, and everyone respected me. They were working under my command. It was the duty of the boss lady to do the orientation of the new employees, and I just I assumed these are the dangers of assumption. So I thought that she had told them, like that rule that she had given to me, that the room with the red door was a no-go area. I assumed that she had told them. I didn't ask the boss lady if she had told them or not. For all these past months, I had obeyed all the rules of the house. What shocked me was that sometimes the boss lady would give me a task so as to go and buy broilers because they wanted their chicken live, not those braai packs that you buy in the supermarkets. Because this was a big household, I would buy at least 10 to 20 chickens live, slaughter them, and they would last us an entire month. But my brother, I am someone that is always writing stuff down that she buys. But when it came to the chickens, I would always find myself feeling very lazy. I still remember this other day, it was somewhere around 4 p.m. The boss lady told me that I had to rush and go and buy some live chickens. So I went to this other area where a lot of white farmers keep chickens that they sell. I went there, and when I returned, I then said, let me set a reminder on my phone. So I wrote on my notebook, I wrote the chickens that I had bought on that day. Since I had bought these live chickens very late, and the boss said that we were supposed to slaughter them the next morning. So my brother, after I had set that reminder on my phone, the next morning when I went to that room where we used to keep these live chickens, if we were going to slaughter them the next morning, I looked at the chickens and I counted them, and I saw that 2 amongst these 10 chickens that I had bought were missing. My brother, I kept on recording, and I saw that this thing kept on happening. Sometimes the chickens, after slaughtering them, we would keep them like in the fridge, and I would find out that chickens were always missing. So I thought that maybe these ladies that I was now working with, they were the ones that that were stealing stuff. I tried, my brother, to check the CCTV since I had the access codes to the CCTVs that are installed. I then found out that no one was actually stealing the chickens, but my brother, this thing, it kept on happening and happening. The other mysterious thing that was happening was that sometimes the boss lady, she would go to the farms and she would buy like a half slaughtered cow, and an entire thigh will just disappear. It was just a mystery. And whenever I would tell the boss lady, she will just brush it off. She will say, I am not like other bosses. I want you guys to eat. I want you to eat. This is like the joke that she used to tell us whenever I would complain about meat getting missing from the this was the way that she used to joke with me whenever I would complain, when I would tell her that there is something that is missing from the fridge. She will just say that she does not care a lot about food. She wants her workers to eat until they are satisfied. As per their custom, the couple would go for their holiday vacations, and every now and then they would leave the house all to us. Now, this was the first time that they left since the employment of the two girls, and I told the girls that today we were supposed to do a thorough cleaning. This was a spring cleaning day. The girls were busy cleaning the house, and I had started from downstairs. And soon, since I was writing the grocery list, so I wanted to check everything that was missing in the kitchen. I then instructed these two ladies to go upstairs so that they can start cleaning upstairs. My brother, I had everything that I needed. I had a debit card that I would use for the house, and the boss had said that I had to keep the slips after using that debit card. At around 10 a.m., the ladies took their first break and they went downstairs to make tea in the kitchen. After they had came downstairs, as I was about to leave for grocery shopping, I realized that I had forgotten the remote gate key in my bedroom, which was upstairs. As I walked up the staircase, and I then started to feel that there was something strange that was happening in my body. I felt such a coldness that was entering into my body. I felt my hair strands standing. My body was not okay. That is when I saw that the red door that was forbidden, it was opened. Immediately I was like, who opened this door? As I was stamping my foot in anger, I then rushed downstairs and I was really angry. I started screaming at those two ladies that were working under my command. I asked them, and they told me that since I had told them that today was a spring cleaning day, they had cleaned each and every corner of the house. I yelled at them, I screamed at them, and I told them that nobody was allowed to open that door, but they just stood there in confusion. The boss didn't tell them that they were not supposed to open that red door. The boss had not told them that they were not supposed to open up that red door or to see what was inside his office. So I rushed again upstairs so that I can get a proper look at that door and close it. As I walked up into that room, I then saw that there were feathers of broilers and bones of the missing uncooked beef. The room had such a strong smell, such that you could actually vomit. As I was standing at the door, I actually felt like I wanted to vomit, but it was as if there was a huge magnetic force that was pulling me into that room. I didn't want to enter into that forbidden room, but I found myself entering into that room as if I was a zombie. My brother, it shocked me. This shocked the hell out of me, because when I looked around, I saw that this was no office where the boss was said that she kept all of her documents for their businesses. This was just a room, an empty room with a lot of bones and a lot of feathers of chickens and a lot of chicken feathers. My mind got lost, and then I saw the shock of my life. From the corner of the room, there was a hole, and then came out this huge monster. It was thick like a thigh of a grown man. It had two heads. I stopped, my brother. When I saw this terrifying beast, I stopped and I froze in time. I could not even move. It was as if there was someone who had clamped my feet to the floor. The snake made its way towards me. It was really scary. And for a moment, I felt like I was confused, and there was a powerful force stronger than me that took over. I tried to run towards the door, but this snake was swift. It was faster, my brother. And by the time that I tried to get out of that room, it hit the door with its very long, thick tail, and the door was closed. I stood there. So these were the documents that my boss lady was talking about. I whispered to myself, and my lips were actually trembling. So all this time she was tricking me. I asked myself, because before I had nightmares, because when I started working for them, I had actually had a lot of nightmares, and I had brushed them off. I told myself that there were people who were against my life, since I was now working for this rich lady that was really cool, that was giving me all that I wanted. So this was it. This was the meaning of all of those strange dreams that I kept on having. The snake stood on its tail and it spoke, my brother. This snake spoke to me. It said, "Bridget, finally we have met. Let me take you back a little bit. There was a puppy and it was my favorite. I would go to the shops with it. It had barked so hard in distress. So when I entered the room, the puppy was taking its last breath." The snake continued, "Nobody has seen me and lived. Susan was here. She opened the door. Was she not buried? Same for Angela, the girl that used to work here. The girls do not listen. They always open the door. You will also die, and you will die now." I had never seen a snake that talks, and this snake, it was actually talking. Was it a snake or was it a demonic force? Up to now, I do not have any answer at all. The first thing that came to my mind was my son and my mom. I was like the breadwinner in the family, and if I was going to die, what was going to happen to them? I kept on thinking to myself, by the way, the snake had a Doek on the other head. This same Doek, my boss lady always carried it on her handbag. I saw people crying at my funeral, whilst my bosses were wearing sunglasses and all black outfits. Maybe they would even sponsor the funeral. Then she would stand and say she was an honest lady, hardworking. She paid attention to detail, etc. The snake then proceeded to me, and I started saying, "Jesus Christ of Nazareth." I kept on moving in slow motion to the back as the snake advanced towards me. My prayer was answered, and I moved as I was not looking backward, and I fell from the balcony. So the room had a sliding door that was always open. This door, it was always opened, and when I started working for the boss, I even asked as to why she kept this sliding door always open, but she never gave me a proper answer. The answer that she gave me was like, the aircon is damaged, blah blah blah, but the other rooms, they were fine. So why this door was always opened, I now knew why it was always opened. I had tried to suggest the boss that she was supposed to close it, since she kept a lot of important documents, but she said that no, it is fine, do not stress about it. I fell down, and the next thing that happened is that I found myself in hospital. I had broken legs and a broken hip, and my boss stood by the side of the bed. I looked at her and she said nothing. The following 6 months, I lost my mind and I do not remember anything. The only thing that my mom told me is that she said that whenever they would come and visit me during visitation time, I would scream sometimes whenever they would enter into that ward where they were keeping me. And when I would be screaming, I'll be like, "Snake, snake, snake." Then I will slowly just collapse back to the bed. My mom said that whenever I will do this, my eyes will be wide open, and it was such a scary sight. She said whenever I will do this thing, that they would pray. Whenever they would pray, then I would relax. My brother, brother, this is what happened to me. I believe that God fought for me. I am alive. I didn't die. And I never went back to my boss. I started a very small business, my brother. Really small. I would wake up early in the morning and I would go at this other place in our location where a lot of people, they catch the buses and taxis, and I will just sell my guinya and some scones there. That is the hustle that I started, but God saved my life and I am alive. Your dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our admins. Africa, strange things do happen. Have you ever had any spiritual encounter? If you have ever had any spiritual encounter, please feel free to come to our email address, or you can send us an email, or you can speak with us on our WhatsApp number.